Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do Soulcalibur 6 online gameplay with Cervantes. So real quick, for every 50 subscribers this channel gets, I'm going to do a $50 giveaway to one lucky subscriber through PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo until we reach the goal of 2,000 subscribers. And if you happen to have your own YouTube channel, I will subscribe to your channel as well. I think all YouTube creators should subscribe to one another's channels to help each other's channel grow. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so and hit the like button down below. Don't forget to check out the community page to see the latest image poll. I also have a new playlist called Announcements so you can stay informed with everything you need to know about this channel, upcoming events, raffles, and giveaways. And if you really want to support this channel, any donation, big or small, will help the channel grow. Just send me a text message saying donations to my cell phone number at 862-405-2191 and I will send you the link to my Cash App or PayPal. It's the same number to enter into the raffles. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Alright, here we go. Let's get into Cervantes' story real quick, right? So, real quick, Cervantes' father, his name was Philip. He was once a privateer on a special mission from the Spanish king to loot in the name of Spain, right? So one day he got close to an English ship under the intent to looting it. Basically, you know, he was also a pirate, but he worked for Spain. So he was just out there doing God knows what, but in the name of Spain, either looting other ships or, you know, conquering or taking over stuff. But as you see here, it says here he ran into an English ship. So it says here, the English ship under the intent of looting it, only to find out that it was a warship. Holy shit. What a stroke of bad luck. Again, this is not just your regular cruise ship. This ain't your regular fisherman boat. No, he happened to pick out of all ships a warship. Meaning this ship is armed to the teeth with sailors, with guns, cannons, and whatever, bro. This guy just bad luck and really bad timing. So it says here, only to find out that it was a warship. Philip de Leon was taken by surprise. His ship was completely destroyed. He died along with it. Cervantes was devastated. He decided that if that was what happened to the sailors that swore an allegiance to Spain, he would forsake it and he would become a pirate instead. One day he received a message from the merchant of death, receiving. It was a request to find Soul Edge. Cervantes took the job, if only for something to do. After a year of searching, Cervantes finally found some information. It seemed that an antique dealer had a strange article. There was no specific evidence that this was Soul Edge, but Cervantes was a pirate, so even if it was a twin sword, whether he could find some use for it, either the goods on the ship. So Cervantes attacked the ship. Again, he's a pirate, so even if the information was wrong or misleading, he would still raid the ship and take any goods he had on board, take it for himself. So oddly enough, nobody heard from him after that. Now it says here, the bio in Soulcalibur, it says Cervantes grew up with the pride of his father, who was a great seaman. But he became a pirate after his father died in battle. So they're kind of recapping here. He obtained Soul Edge and eventually drove him insane as he devoured his soul. His insanity caused him to kill everyone who came looking for Soul Edge. Cervantes' reign of terror lasted for over 20 years until Sophia, Taki, and Siegfried defeated him. But this was not the end of Cervantes. Nightmare, the new host of the Soul Edge, unknowingly resurrected him using the fragments of Soul Edge that were still inside of Cervantes. Now Cervantes seeks the demonic blade to renew the fever and strength. So basically when Nightmare came around and took over, he basically ended up bringing him back to life, you know, in a weird way. So he just wants to be whole again with the sword. So it says here now, the bio in Soulcalibur 2, it says Cervantes' memories had come back along with the desire to search for Soul Edge again. He remembered how it had robbed him of his free will. But that made no difference. During Cervantes' search for Soul Edge, he realized that the second sword had been shattered as well. Cervantes finding a few new pieces and he pondered over them as, what am I gonna do? What if this is the end now that the sword is destroyed? Just as then, two pieces of the sword began to resonate and melted into one. So look at that. So it reminds me like of Terminator 2, the liquid guy. Man, I think that's one of the greatest badass bad guys in any movie like that. Terminator 2, Judgment Day, bro. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But anyway, so that guy, you know, he was liquid and he would transform into one. So when the two fragments resonated with one and melted into one, I just got that thought of him. So anyways, for years passed with Cervantes stealing souls and collecting fragments, eventually they took the form of a sword. Cervantes' goal was to regain Soul Edge, and to do that he needed as many of the fragments as he could find. Now we get into Soulcalibur 3. Now it says here, by making use of the fragments of Soul Edge in his body, Cervantes managed to keep his insanity. Using Soul Edge and the Adrian, he devoured the soul of his own brawny men, right? So off the sea, one day when he had moored his ship in an opening in a cliff in order to avoid the stormy waves, the presence of his other Soul Edge that he had felt up until then, but this time it disappeared completely. Then his body began to crumble as the fragment of the cursed soul inside his body were losing its power. Basically, that's what was keeping him alive. If you remember, when Nightmare made the sword whole again, he revived them. So at this rate, that he would return from, let me see here, from the other character corpse. So it says, wow, it looks like you're in trouble. Turning to the source of the sudden voice, Cervantes saw a girl in a green and flock of blackbirds at the top of the mast. So it says here, who the hell are you? I guess you could say I'm the servant of the cursed store. Cervantes grew angry at the overly cheerful girl. However, he listened to her words. He learned that the sword had been sealed by an equal and opposing power. After the girl disappeared into the darkness, Cervantes thought to himself he had no intentions of binding himself to the shattered object with the girl, but if he had no choice but to maintain his life by absorbing the new soul, and while doing so, destroying the energy of Soul Edge and revive the cursed sword that had been sealed. His obsession for soul flattering, Cervantes set out into the stormy sea. Real quick, I have to say, I'm glad I got the sweep on this A2B character, cause 2B, cause they be spamming the hell out of all their buttons, and it feels good just to put them in their place. I don't know about you. Alright, let's get back to the story, because I am gonna run out of time, it looks like. So now we're in Soulcalibur 4. Now it says here in the bio, once there was a dreaded pirate who, upon claiming Soul Edge, became the creature of pure malevolence. Though defeated once, he managed to return to life through the intervention of the cursed sword fragments. He gathered more and more fragments until he had enough to form a one great weapon, formidable enough to be called the second Soul Edge. But one possibility had eluded him, that the spirit sword Soulcalibur appear and seal Soul Edge power away. Needless to say, his own body did not escape the unscathed. Cervantes realized his flesh could decay at any moment. He had no time to lose. This is the spirit sword must be buried once and for all. As Cervantes' body fell, he sought out the souls of vast numbers to hold it together. Meaning this guy was killing his own crew. Anybody that would cross him, he was just taking their souls just to try to stay whole. Because now that Soul Edge, his body was decaying, it was crumbling. So it says here, to keep it together, the souls he absorbed became an army of his service, and he soon found himself once again a mighty pirate in command of the undead armada. So look at that. Not only did he kill these people and took their soul, now he basically has not what you call it. Yeah, he has a crew of basically zombies with him. Basically, let me see here. He even went to as far as to attack his own daughter Ivy, and by feasting on her soul. Wait a minute, he killed Ivy? Did he feasted on her soul? I didn't know this. Rich and ripe, he gained tremendous power, but calmly struck it again. An evil wave swept across the world. The cursed sword, who had freed itself from the spirit sword and regained its full power, his own soul that responded in turn and tried to pull away from him and treat it, and to return to its own other half. After a brief deliberation, Cervantes decided to let it go. Once the cursed sword was a whole, he would then seize it for himself once again to replace it for his lost blade. Cervantes chose a sword that was an old friend of his, but no sooner had he clutched the long sword, he had become a cursed weapon, such raw, overwhelming power now that no one could stop him. It says, "Wait and see, Soul Edge. I will be there once again to claim you and all the world with you." Damn, Cervantes is a badass, bro. Oh man. Alright, so now we get into Soulcalibur 5. It says Cervantes traveled to Augsburg in order to reclaim Soul Edge and devour the sweet soul of his daughter Ivy. But it was Ivy herself who foiled his plan. His body beaten to his mind shattered, Cervantes was swallowed up by the dimensional rift. Oh, looked like I ran out of time, guys. Well, guys, I will probably continue Cervantes' story another time. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video.
Don't forget to subscribe!